Hello and welcome back to Matt Hayes Tottenham blog and to another episode of Transfer Talk. Today, in his pre-match press conference for the Watford game tomorrow, Jose Mourinho has given us an update on a couple of transfer targets that we do have in this window. Now before we get into that, if you do want more videos like this, plus Transfer Talk live streams and match previews and reviews, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and click the notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload. So the first news coming from today is something that we heard from the Real Betis president last month, but today has been echoed by Jose Mourinho, and that is that Tottenham are likely to sign Giovani Celso on a permanent deal this month. Now, of course, we signed Celso back in the summer on a year-long loan deal with an obligation to buy if we made it into European football, or an option to buy if we failed to do so. We have learned in the last couple of weeks, last couple of months, that there is a clause in that contract that allows Tottenham to make the deal permanent this month for a reduced fee. I'm not sure of the exact figures on this one, but I think Tottenham are set to save about £8 million if they do activate that clause this month. And Jose Mourinho has now said we are likely to do that. Look, we all know it hasn't been the best of starts at Tottenham for Lo Celso. You know, he struggled with a couple of injuries and he just kind of found it hard to get into the first team, and he's only made, I think, 3 starts under Jose Mourinho, but he had an exceptional performance against Middlesbrough during the week, scoring his second goal for the club. And this is a deal that, you know, we kind of have to be happy with, because he was a really exciting signing. He's still a young player. He has shown glimpses of quality, and there are a lot of pundits, a lot of players and managers and stuff like that who are backing him to succeed at Tottenham, and I think it's great that we are getting this deal done. And it could potentially have an influence on other deals that we are doing, because there is a rule that you are only allowed 2 loan players in your squad, and now with Gedson Fernandes coming in on an initial 18-month loan deal, that it may fill up those 2 loan deals. There is a bit of a ambiguity in that rule, and it could potentially be you're only allowed 2 English players on loan, but it's kind of, I'm personally unsure whether it's 2 English players or 2 players in total that you're allowed on loan. But either way, making this Lo Celso deal permanent does free up another position for a loan player. And another thing that Mourinho has been talking about is something that has been linked in the media to us potentially signing players on loan. And Mourinho has confirmed that we are looking into signing a striker. Now, there were a few names mentioned to him, and he said, I think that's only 3 out of 30 names that we're looking at. So there's certainly a very, very broad list of targets for Tottenham as they look to bring in a striker to replace Harry Kane, who suffered another long-term injury. The latest news is that he actually could be out until the new season with this hamstring injury that he has suffered. Now, Mourinho has made it very, very clear that he's looking for a target man. We kind of knew this before today, even, because he said when Harry Kane's injury was first, the extent of it was first announced, he was asked about playing Heung-min Son or Lucas Moura in the striker role, and he said, well, they are good players who can play there. They're not the men that he wants in his setup, because he needs a target man. He needs someone who can, you know, he's good in the air, he can hold up the ball, and he's kind of stronger and more physical than Son and Lucas are. A few names that were thrown around were, of course, Krzysztof Piątek. We heard from Sky Italy that Tottenham actually had 2 bids rejected for him. The first one was a loan deal, which seems to be a loan with an option to buy, is something that Tottenham are really starting to do now. Just personally, I'm happy with that, because it is kind of low risk, high reward. The second offer was a bid of Wanyama and Juan Foyth, which AC Milan turned down. They won £30 million, which is what they paid for Piątek last January when they signed him from Genoa. That one seems to have gone dead in the last week or so, and one that was kind of heating up a bit is Zé Luiz, who plays at Porto at the moment. Sky and a number of other sources were reporting that Porto actually offered Tottenham the chance to sign him on a 6-month loan deal. It hasn't really been said whether or not there was an option or an obligation to buy in that one, but again, in the last couple of days, that seems to have fallen away with reports of work permit issues actually getting in the way of that transfer. But despite those 2 players, those 2 targets potentially ones that we're going to miss out on, it's really encouraging to hear that Mourinho is openly talking about the fact that we are looking to sign a striker. And there have been a number of strikers that we have brought in kind of as backup to Kane, Vincent Janssen being the main one, and Fernando Llorente, even though he did work a lot better than Janssen. This could potentially be a good opportunity for us to get in a more quality striker to back up to Harry Kane, because if a striker does come in, he'll know that at least for the next 4 or 5 months he's going to be a regular first team starter, and that's kind of been the thing that's deterred strikers from joining Tottenham over the last couple of years. You look mainly at Alvaro Morata, who spoke about this before his transfer to Chelsea. He was really close to joining Tottenham, but he said because he knew Harry Kane was there and he was never going to be the first choice, he decided that Tottenham wasn't the place for him. But now, because we can guarantee first team football for a player, there is potential for us to get in a really good striker. And Mourinho he kind of emphasised the fact that he's not looking to sign a striker just for the sake of it. He does want a quality striker who can help Tottenham, not just during Harry Kane's absence, but in the long term. And I think the phrase he used was he wants to sign someone in a positive situation. So he doesn't want it to be, oh, we need someone because this bad thing has happened. He wants to bring in a good player that can help improve the team. And as he said, there are a number of targets that we are looking at. Some other names that have been mentioned are Danny Ings, but he doesn't really fit into that target man category that Jose Mourinho is speaking about. Christian Benteke is another name, and well, I think that's the right kind of style of player, it's just the right style of player that we do need. I don't think Christian Benteke would be the option. I don't think he's the exact player, but someone similar to him, because he does have Premier League experience. He's that target man that we're looking for. He's a strong physical striker. He is potentially the type of player that we would be looking for. And I'm sure over the next couple of weeks there are going to be a number of names thrown around, but hopefully we can get this one over the line. It does look as though Tottenham are not done in their business just yet. We were told earlier in the window that they would be reactive rather than proactive. They have reacted to the Sissoko injury, and they are now reacting to Harry Kane's injury. It's just a question of whether or not the business will end there. Sky Sports have also said that Tottenham are going all out in this window. I think it was Michael Bridge who said that. So we could potentially have a very, very busy 2 weeks for us in this transfer window to add to the players that we did sign last summer. We're really looking to improve, and I think we do need to do it this January to make a push for the top four. I think it may be a bit out of our reach given the state of our squad at the moment, but if we can add some players and add a bit of depth in the midfield especially, I think there's no reason why we can't at least challenge for the top four for the rest of this season. And don't forget to put down in the description below your thoughts on these transfer updates from Jose Mourinho. We have, of course, learned about Giovani, Celso and Tottenham, the fact that Tottenham are looking into signing a striker. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.